you. Welcome everyone here today for our July council meeting. We are here today in Harrow and we thank the community of Harrow for coming along today. It's good to see a few people here to come and see a meeting in action. If we could all please be standing. David, if you could please read the acknowledgement.
Council acknowledges that it is not custodians of the land on which we meet. Pays respect to elders past, present and emerging. Let us pray. Almighty God, we humbly ask your blessing upon this council, guide and prosper our decisions to the advancement of your glory and the true welfare of the people of West Wimmera Shire. Amen.
Item 4.1 that we received any apologies. I don't believe we have any leave of absence. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest from any items on the agenda? I will when we get to the confidential for item 18.2. Okay. Just remember, if one does arise, please declare it. Move to item 5.1, written questions on notice. Have we received any written questions? Move to item 5.2, verbal questions without notice. Is anyone prepared to suspend standing orders? Moved by Councillor Hicks, second by Councillor Pretlove. No discussion required. We'll put it to the vote. All in favour? Right. So, just to make you all aware of what's actually happening here, we are now prepared to take questions from the gallery. There are some rules around this. So basically, if you could just say your name and where you're from for the minutes takers. If we need to get an address or a phone number or something from you, follow up with that later on. If we're only able to take a question on notice and provide you a follow up later on. Each member is allowed 2 questions. It has to be a question. It's not a debate. It's not a discussion. You're just here to ask questions. That's fine. We'll do our best to answer, but there are certain areas that we aren't allowed to go into. Certain things like if there's a proposed development or a legal matter or something like that, or something that may prejudice council, we aren't actually allowed to discuss that, and that's actually forbidden in our governance rules. So just so everyone's aware of that. Otherwise, these things, we'd like them to be respectful. So everyone just please, ask questions. We'll try our best to answer. That's what we're here for. We're happy to see people here asking questions. So I'll hand it over to you guys. If anyone has a question.
Yeah. So my name's Annette Sutton. We're residents of Harrow as of February 2025. And we run the Brumby Sanctuary up on the hill. Whilst we realise we are not in the Wimmera Shire Council, our work benefits the Wimmera area. So we wanted to, 1, come and introduce ourselves, and number 2, to see what, if anything, support we can have from the Wimmera Council. We've had a lot of tourists. We have people using the accommodation, using a caravan park, eating their meals, whatever work we do, because we're on that hill, which splits us over to Wimmera. Our benefits, though, are for Harrow. They're not for, we're not doing anything that's supporting the other side. We support Harrow community. So even though we're not in the Shire, we would like to know, is there something, like, I don't know, how the council could help? It's just a question that I thought I would pose.
Yeah. No, that's certainly fine. Look, there is certainly sponsorship opportunities for events that have been held within West Wimmera Shire, things like that. It is fairly problematic, and it certainly goes against council policies to actually fund things that aren't within the Shire. So that would definitely be a problem. It is always going to be one of those problems. We have boundaries all the way around our Shire. We have some residents live on one side, some events happen just over the border, some are just in South Australia. It is a common problem, unfortunately. There's no real easy solution to that. Look, we'll take it on notice and we'll look into it further for you if you're happy to provide a contact detail later on.
Yeah,
yep.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep. Okay. Is there
Thank you.
any further questions?
No, I don't know.
My name's Eva Foot. I reside in Edenhope and I have property here in Harrow and the property coming up to 20 years. So I have two questions. The first one relates, I was to have a co-neighbour here today who can't be with us, so it affects both of our properties. So the first question is, can the council please advise, and you won't be able to give an answer to this today, so I know it'll be ongoing. Can the council please advise how many dogs at residence 5402 Colorado Edenhope Road in Harrow have been desexed as per the Department of Ag Dangerous Dogs Order CCC 1043576, which was issued to council, and if that order has been actually enforced, please.
We'll have to take that on notice.
Yeah, I know you're not able to get that answer at the moment. The second question I have is more of a general Harrow location area. Has impacted me recently, and I know of two other ratepayers have also been impacted. Can the council please detail what facilities and assistance are available to ratepayers who wish to build homes and infrastructure on land in and around Harrow, as it feels like we're currently being caught in red tape and bureaucracy. So for context, in my situation, I put in a planning submission, a big smart planning submission for some shipping containers, and included a house and a garage for future living. That planning submission was rejected out of hand because of the house and the garage port, and I had to go back to just the basic cup shipping containers through a big smart application. So I just feel like instead of trying to do everything in one package and get it all reviewed as one, that it was blocked and split up, and I'm having problems. But I do know of two other incidents close by me that are also having issues with planning. So we're looking for some sort of guidance for assistance in some way the council can instruct us and help us going forward.
Yeah, look, council is always quite happy to have more housing. We are, always keen to see people build houses. We're not trying to stop people from building houses. That's definitely the case. But there are planning laws and there are rules, and unfortunately we have to administer them. When a proponent comes with an idea, there's only so much that we can actually do to actually say, well, you've got to do this, 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 and this, but we can't actually go out and do it for you. That's up to the proponent, and that's where often a lot of these things do fall down. Maybe Brendan, if you're able to actually.
So what council can do is offer you a meeting with a planner to discuss your proposal. That's called a planning advice request. So you can lodge a planning advice request at any time, and a planner will arrange a meeting with you. And I have some awareness of the shipping container one, but I believe, again, we can't really talk about it.
No, we don't want to go into specific details, but look, there's lots of things we as a council are trying to be proactive with at the moment in terms of, improving zoning and things like this around our shire, and trying to make things as streamlined as we can make it. If you look at our planning scheme, it's something like 834 pages long, and there's only 2 provisions in it that we as a council put in. The rest of it's all state government regulation. So we have to go by what's in those rules, and it's, we get frustrated as much as everyone else. When somebody runs into these, these roadblocks or red tape, as you say, the complaints come to us, and we try and sort of explain, well, we don't like it either, but we have got our hands tied as well. I wish there was an easier way. I certainly do. But look, like Brendan suggests, meet with our planning officers, listen to what their advice is, and then move on from there. I think that is the best way to proceed. Is there any other questions? Yep.
Yeah, I have a complaint about the club hall behaving.
Sorry, your name, please?
Sorry, if we could just have you, you probably weren't here just a moment ago. If you could just say your name and where you're from.
Gurjit Sandhu, Bomblana.
Yep.
And I got a complaint about the club hall, and it's been there for nearly 2-3 months.
All right.
And the Shire tried to fix it 4 times with the gravel and lawn dust.
Yep.
And it's still the same.
Right.
And because every time you go past, you can see every week, there's so much workforce, so much equipment being used. Like, why are they wasting so much ratepayers' money on one little project? why can't engineers work it out to fill that pothole properly the first time?
Okay, what's the location of this pothole?
Neil Womblano, the Charon's Womblano.
Sharon Longblainer? Yeah.
I'm aware of this one, and I believe our manager has rang you this morning and spoken. with
She
you.
did, but I don't believe what she said. She said they took out 15 tons, which is probably 2 meters by 2 meters from hole, the loose gravel, and then they filled up with more gravel.
So your question is, why are we taking so long to
Why
fix it?
are you wasting ratepayers' money on one little project, which it should be fixed up the first time by the engineers?
So the hole that's been dug out and gravel been put back in, and
Yeah,
there's been.
But she told me
Just-
50
Let me
tons of
finish,
gravel.
please. And there's signage there to lower the speed, and then once it's dry enough and that gravel's dried out, we'll come back and seal it. So it will involve multiple visits to the site. And in the meantime, there are traffic and heavy vehicles and trucks going over it.
Yeah.
And so it will continue to move around a little bit, and it might require further treatment, but we'll get it fixed. Eventually, we'll get it sealed.
Well, it's so costing ratepayers so much money. What's going on? Can you give me any cost for how much it would cost you to fix that little pothole?
Individually, I won't have a cost on a hole. I've got photos of the hole. I've got your customer request here, and I can see that's been ongoing for a while, and the crews have been back. We wouldn't be the only council in Victoria with holes on roads.
Yeah, I can understand that, but because we got property both sides, we travel on that road all the time. When you see the workforce and the people getting used to fix up that little project, it's just, you feel like, it's just not right. Why the hell somebody can design it to come there and say, yeah, we have to do it first time this properly. Second, yeah, then got it fixed twice. What? This one makes sense. Why third time somebody came along, yeah, this is it, we have to do it properly the next time. Not 4 times, it's still there.
So as I said, it's been dug out, gravel been back in place, and it will be sealed once it's dry.
Hopefully, they won't be wasting more money on that hole. I hope they fix it properly the next one. And it's dangerous. I nearly slipped one day because they didn't have the signs up there. And my car, I was going towards Edenham because it's over the hill. I nearly skidded.
I know it might look like there's a lot of works happening there and things, but when you've had weather conditions and different soil types and all these things, sometimes it does take multiple treatments. It's the nature of the road building as well. So
Probably is the culvert or something underneath that water coming there.
possibly, yeah, but look, we all wish you could just send one truck out, 2 blokes and fix everything, but it sometimes does need multiple treatments, and it is a long-term fix that I'm sure they've got planned.
It doesn't make sense to me. They can, build up big project in Melbourne, whatever. We can't fix up this trouble. This is crazy. Other thing is, on Womblano, Carroll Road, we're trying to get a rubbish bin pickup. And I think it's about 5 houses on that road getting left out. We've been trying for 15 years. 15 years we've been trying. Can you give me the time span when we will get that rubbish picked up in the future? Can you give me any time span?
We have no plans currently.
No plan, but it could be another 15 years because 15 years ago.
They are not the only 5 residents not getting a rubbish service in the Shire. There is quite a substantial amount of rubbish not getting picked up from rural residents. It's simply a matter of economics.
Yes, I can understand that economics. I'm getting old, I'm about 67, and they talk about health and safety. Where is the health and safety for the residents of West Wimmera?
I don't get a rubbish collection. Helen, you don't get a rubbish
Well,
collection.
that's okay.
Jody, you don't get a rubbish collection.
I do
Richard,
actually, I'm lucky.
Oh, you do, Jody.
I'm lucky.
There you go, we've got
That's
one.
okay, but it's for the
I know a
full
lot that
Shire.
don't.
We are speak for you too. Why are we not getting the rubbish picked up?
Look, we can expand the service, but you have to pay for it.
Yeah, I don't mind paying. We
No.
already paying.
If we provide it to everyone across the Shire, you would be surprised at what it
Well,
would
that's
cost.
okay. We find everything else. Why can't we find?
We're
people-
talking into the thousands.
Sorry?
We're talking into the thousands of dollars, and everybody would have to agree to
But
pay
at
that.
least, yeah, look, you think it's going to go up to thousands of dollars to pick up the rubbish for a year? He's paid to do it for just for one person.
If we had to expand it out across the entire rural network, the costings would
Do
be
you know,
like that. It's
I'm
thousands.
talking about this small road. Douglas getting picked up, Chatham Road's getting picked up.
Maybe Brendan, you could explain how it is that we pick up.
Sorry.
The domestic garbage collection service is largely targeted at urban areas, Carnarvon and Eden, and the truck comes from the side of Warwick to Beale and does a run 2 days a week. And in between those towns, it does a run through the rural areas, and it can only really run a limited number of roads in those areas. And it does as many as it can do and still fit in the other towns.
But this loop, you can do the loop because this road is
So
going to see out.
Of extension, it's already doing a loop.
Yeah.
If we start adding to the loop, it adds time to that collection run. And he's already at fatigue hours for the driver. The driver's limited to 10 hours a day operations. So there is limitations on how far we can extend the rural areas. I've got maps of the rural areas and I can show you if we.
So we can pay a rate or whatever, we're not going to get any extra services.
You don't pay for garbage unless you get service. You don't
No,
pay for that
no,
now.
actually I'm finding it because I'm taking to Womblana Road,
Well-
which is that, you know,
So
nearly
you
20,
take it to a corner where the truck.
20 pays up and down, right? And I just feel like the residents in rural areas getting old, and especially like me, single woman living on the farm, and it's not easy to put the rubbish on the ute. You can understand that, yeah, you know, and
So
it's
the
not
rural
hard.
resident, we also have transfer stations available to take the rubbish.
Yeah, the same thing. I still have to put on the ute to take it.
So
Okay,
some
okay.
rural
Look,
residents
this is supposed to be a question and answer, not a debate. So you've asked a question. I believe we've provided an answer. So,
Yeah.
yep. Okay. Are there any further questions? Lockie, you're staring at me like you've got one. So
You want to hear?
I'm happy to have a chat with you afterwards, Lockie.
Mr. Councillor Mew, fellow councillors, I've been around here a long time. My mind goes back to, I think it was late 70s. Got a phone call one day. Town hall was on fire. We lost the hall. We rebuilt this hall. You're sitting in today. It costs us a lot of money, a lot of hard work. And strange to say, this community had that hall paid for by the time we opened it. Now, I look around here today, and you've come through it, most of you people from the desert, and there's an area out a few miles up, or half a mile or so up the road there, which is a fire hazard, which is an eyesore, and could even be a death threat. I would like to see something organised to clean that area up. And maybe, how will I say, regulated as a recreational area for boating, for fishing, canoeing, and just the wing of the district. Is it possible if we work together in the community to try and arrange that we get support from council? Thank you.
Again, I know you've brought this similar ideas to us before, Lockie, so I'm not surprised to hear it again. But with the fire and fire burn-offs, I know the CFA, I know from my own involvement at CFA, they are actively going out to brigades asking them if there are any areas. So maybe talk with the local fire captain, Pekin, help me out, what's his name? He's the local fire captain here, have a chat with him and maybe get it on the list that they can burn some of that area. again, a lot of it's going to come back down to who owns the land, and it's not council, I know that. What the native vegetation is, maybe there's cultural heritage issues. I know there's canoe trees and things like that. So there are quite a lot of issues involved in this. I know, did we provide advice last time to Lockie on any of this or not?
I've done the research on land ownership and we've looked at,
Yeah.
you know, who owns it.
Yeah. But look, any proposals we're happy to take on board and consider, Lockie. That's not the problem. And again, you know, but there will be a number of issues involved in this. So that, yes.
I have spoken to the catchment management.
Yeah.
And yes, catchment management is the main one that I've had a yarn to. They have been up there. The CEO was here one day and had a look at it. He will support us, I think, with walking tracks and things like that. But I think if we can clean that area up, we could do a lot for this town and the Shire in general.
Yeah, and we just saw how the local community here got a tiny town grant to put a footpath up here for the Muller Reserve. So similar things like that, grants are out there and available. If the community wants to get on board, you know, we often provide a letter of support for projects like that. So, you know, totally agree with that. So that's fine. Yep.
Thank you.
Any further questions? If not, we're probably getting up to our allotted time for this item. Is anyone prepared to resume standing orders? Moved by Councillor Hicks, seconded by Councillor Pritlove. Any discussion required? Put to the vote. All in favour? That is carried. Thank you, guys. Move to item 6, which is our delegates' reports. I am quite light on this one. It's due to me being overseas for a little bit of it, which is fine. I wasn't actually able to get to the Kaniva Lions Club changeover due to ill health. So thank you to Councillor Hobbs for stepping in there for me at the very last second. Otherwise, we'll take the rest as read. Councillor Hobbs.
Yep. So at the end of last month, I was one of 65 people very privileged to attend the National Impact Forum through Drought Resilience. And that is people from 12 drought affected regions. Essentially, it's like a train the trainer, and we are looking at now working and creating a leadership program for 25 Wimmera Southern Mallee region people. So it's like a train the trainer. So we'll run that, and then after that will be for 125 people. So that's really addressing the leadership deficit in people trying to stand for council in future, and also people taking on, you know, Lions Club or, you know, all of those AMP Society, those positions. I attended the Scots BMX bike show that was attended by 135 people at the Kaniva Shire Hall. That was really good. GWM water turn on. I just got back just in time for that, but I'll let Councillor Richard Hicks speak about that one. 2 councillor catch-ups, one for the north and one for the south of the Shire. The Lions changeover was excellent to attend. There was people, the Lions Club from Baroque and also Eden Hope, as well as Bordertown, Dimboola Nil attended that. Really good to see Russell Thomas, who's a younger person, taking on the president's role. The Square Dancers weekend in Kaniva, there was 45 people that attended from Melbourne, Adelaide, Naracoorte and all over. That was around about 18,000 that put into the local economy. And at the end of this month, was the launch of the Wiregrass Heritage Trail. And the only other thing I was going to say was congratulations to Josie Sangster, who took out the Grampians Wimmera Mallee Tourism Volunteer Award. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hobbs. And obviously, thanks to Josie as well, even though she's sitting on a plane on the way to Darwin at the moment. So, yeah. Hey, Councillor Hicks.
Mayor, a couple of things following on from Councillor Hobbs. I also attended the Councillor Coffee and Chat sessions at Kaniva. I do believe these sessions are good. It's an opportunity for our citizens, our ratepayers, to meet with 1 or 2 councillors each month and discuss issues of concern. we encourage all of you here today and elsewhere, if you have the opportunity to come along to these sessions, they're quite casual. Have a cup of coffee and chat to us, tell us concerns you, and we can try and bring it back. Suggest that something like that might need to be put on the computer system for action. Councillor Hobbs forgot to mention what a stunning figure she cut at the round dancing session in Canberra on Sunday. Some strange reason I got pulled up to try and show her my style, which is no style at all. Thank God, after 3 rounds, I could the hell out of the place. It was a lot of fun to see these people, about 40 or 45 from outside the Shire, attend this square dancing session. They're a very keen group. They've been in Canberra in the past, and they are very happy, I believe, to come back next year and put on a similar performance. And apart from being a lot of fun, it's not bad exercise. I was honoured to represent the Shire at the GWM Water grand opening of the potable water system into Canberra. Prior to the opening, you don't realise that Canberra was the largest town in Victoria without potable water. Everyone in Canberra until then had to rely on rainwater tanks for drinkable water. The original system had lasted in Canberra for more than 100 years. It was turned on in 1923. And finally, after 103 years, they've got a system of potable water through all the taps now, which I believe is an incredible development and advancement in terms of improving livability for all residents, but also it's an important facility within our hospitality industry. If you think of the motels, the hotels, the food outlets, how now all the water that they use and wash their vegetables or dishes is all of potable quality. Previous bore water was a bit dodgy because of metals, of course. So I think the session was a great success and attended by quite a number of people. And I'd also like to thank the Lions Club who provided the barbecue meal, which was great. That might do, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hicks. Councillor Pretlove.
I think things have been covered for me previously, so as read, and I will also though just congratulate Josie on her award. Josie does a lot in this area and yeah, it's, I believe, well deserved, so congratulations to Josie. Thank you.
Councillor Houlihan.
Thank you. On the 5th of the 7th, I went to Yvonne's farm to look at the setup that she was facing, keeping in mind that just across the road from where Yvonne lives, an application went in 12 months ago and they made it that hard for him. He just sold. I don't know whether he still owns it or what's happened, but he's gone. I've spoken to him. He's gone back to the other side of Adelaide to live. It's just too difficult to get a permit here. So thanks, Yvonne, for coming today and putting your point across. I think she's got a very valid point. I will be fully encouraging her to keep going ahead with her building plans. On the 7th of the 7th, I went out to the horse sanctuary. There was an American film crew there, interviewing, filming. They were there for a day, day and a half. And that's the sort of, when those sort of people are coming to your town, they eat and drink, and that's the advantage the West Wimmera Shire Harrow's getting from the horse, or one of the advantages from the horse sanctuary. I'd encourage anyone and everyone to go and have a look and see what's going on. Basically, these are horses that are are being saved from being shot from the air is a dreadfully cruel thing. So, to the operators, I'm saying to you, well done. I hope the Shire can help you. Josie Sangster, already everyone's spoken in relation to Josie, but I see firsthand what she does and how she does it. And they're the sort of, she's one of those people that makes your town what it is. And while we're only a town of 100 people, we're still operating reasonably well. Visitors here this morning from Koroit, Kirksville, that area, and they were quite amazed with what was happening here in Harrow at 5 to 9 this morning. The other thing, it's not a Shire road, but I'm going to keep bringing it up. The road between here and Mill Horsham, while it's a bad road, the number one thing about it is it's exceptionally, extremely dangerous. I know I've been carrying on about this for a long time. The big problem as a Shire we've got, it's not a Shire road, it's a Vic Roads road, and we can't touch the thing, which is a hopeless situation because it is dreadfully, dreadfully dangerous. Anyway, I shall keep pushing to get something done. No, Shire have never had the say on what can happen there, but we've got less say now because Vic Roads have taken their work elsewhere. So all I can say to people is they're using the Harrow to Neil Horsham Road. Be careful when you see a truck and try and keep him on the road and get yourself all four off the road if you possibly can. But that's not always possible either, it's so narrow. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Houlihan. Item 7, I don't believe we have any condolences. We move to item 8, confirmation of the previous minutes held Wednesday, the 17th of June, 2026.
Happy to move the opposite recommendation.
Moved, second by Councillor Pretlove. Any discussion required? If not, to the vote, all in favour? That is carried. We have no business arising. We have no notices of motion. If the council forum record, we'll do it on block items 1 and 2.
So moved.
So moved by Councillor Hicks, seconded by Councillor Hobbs. Is there any discussion required? If not, put it to the vote, all in favour? It's carried. No deputations or petitions. We have no CEO report. Move to item 14, 14.1, which is the minutes of the Audit and Risk Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So presenting the minutes for the Audit and Risk Committee meeting held on the 10th of March 2026. The reason why we are accepting the March minutes at the moment is because they have to go to the Audit and Risk Committee meeting in June before they come to council meeting. The meeting in March was a relatively straightforward meeting. We held an item on the agenda with a draft budget, standard checks and balances that the committee do, quarterly finance reports, presentations to internal and external auditors. Other than that, I'll take the minutes as read.
Any questions?
I'm very happy to move the recommendations.
So moved. Second. Councillor Pretlove, I think as a committee member, perhaps better. Yep. So we wish to speak.
Just very briefly, I'm very grateful that we have an Audit and Risk Committee that spends such a diligent amount of time in reviewing these documents and keeping a professional eye over the whole of the financial activities within the Shire. And this report, I think, provides details of their professional approach and their support what the financial officers within our Shire do to produce these financial documents.
Second, I wish to speak.
Yes, I sit on this committee, and I think it's very comforting to be part of it and have the professionals that go over, all areas of West Wimmera, and different areas are audited regularly, or they just randomly choose areas that are audited, and to have the quality members on this committee that are overseeing and doing all the checks and balances, like I say, gives me a lot of comfort in the position that we're in. And the fact that, well, this is from a meeting back in March, and I believe that our position is only more sound. We're in a stronger position now than what we even would have been then. So I think it's I'm very happy to support these draft minutes. Thank you.
Russ, wish to speak for or against the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Put it to the vote then, all in favour? That is carried. Moved on to 14.2, the financial management policy.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm handing over to Jason Kay, our CEO, to talk to the contents of the financial management policy that we are presenting the first iteration of the financial management for adoption.
Thank you. The financial management policy is a new policy for council. It outlines the framework for effective financial management. It largely mirrors what's in the Local Government Act, but it also has another level of security and detail about council's specific policies, procedures and guidelines to ensure sound financial management within council. It's already been endorsed by the Audit and Risk Committee. I'll take the report as read and happy to take any questions on the policy itself.
Are there any questions? If not, we have a recommendation. Is anyone prepared to move?
I'm happy to move it.
Moved by Councillor Pretlove, second by Councillor Hobbs. Does Mooga wish to speak?
I guess we're all usually very excited when we revoke a policy. So to see a new one coming on, I'm not as excited, but I do realise that, in today's world, obviously this is a requirement of the Local Government Act, and I guess it safeguards by having a policy to have something to provide the guidelines and frameworks and, for in our financial management area for when things arise and the checks and balances, like every policy, it's something that guides us, and it will sit there for when we need it and whatever it might be. So happy to thank you.
Second, wish to speak.
No, just to say, I think Councillor Jody said it all, and thank you very much, Jason. I'm very comfortable with it. I think it's a great safeguarding measure.
Wish to speak.
Just excited about another policy.
Speak, wish to sum up.
No, thank you.
Is the vote then, all in favour? Is carried. 14.3, accounting for assets policy and revaluation schedule.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Same again, I will refer to the detail Jason Kay, CEO. However, I will echo Councillor Pretlove's sentiment is that we certainly don't take lightly introducing policies, but certainly where we feel significant value is added, we will absolutely do that. And assets, as you know, it's a massive part of our balance sheet, up to $400 million worth of assets. So certainly important that we account for that well. So
Thank you. So the accounting for assets policy, again, it's a framework for the monitoring and reporting of council assets. This one was actually driven by an external audit recommendation that we document our policy more clearly and have our formal policy in place. It's also been endorsed by our I'll take the policy as read, but happy to take any questions on the policy.
Have we got any questions? Prepared to move the recommendation?
Yes, Mr Mayor. I head under the guillotine as Bastille Day was only yesterday.
Your seconding?
Yes, thank you.
Wish to speak?
No, thank you very much.
Else wish to speak? No, we'll put that to the vote. All in favour? That is carried. On 15.1, community and commercial advertising on council buildings and structures policy.
Again, it's a policy that is in existence, has been reviewed, and some amendments have been made, and it's been effective. Policy is a framework for the management, assessment, and approval of community and advertising displayed on council-owned buildings, structures, or other assets under council's care or control. Largely, it's there to assist community organisations and local events to support their use of, if there's a request to use our facilities to advertise on, but it has to ensure that it's appropriately regulated and protects amenity and council's reputation from risk. Council's the copies of the revised policies attached to the tractor's version and a clean version. Any questions?
Any questions?
Brandon, there are quite a few changes, but do you think it's just tidied it up more so than much in the meeting? I have read through it and.
So the policy before revision was fairly brief, I guess, and didn't provide much guidance. So where the major changes are is putting more meat into it and giving more clarity both for council officers and community who may come forward with requests.
Yeah.
It's not something that happens very often to a large extent, but there will be things like Tarot has a number of festivals and billy cart races, enduros and things that they might be an occasion where they want to put a sign on the council. So this is how we go to.
You have a question?
I'm happy to move.
Moved. So moved.
Yeah.
Second by Councillor Hoggs. Who wish to speak?
Only that I believe this is probably one of the policies that will really sit in the background, but that's how council roll, and we have to have something in the event of, whether it's a sporting club or community, whatever community group that do want to display something or whatever. This is basically, as you've said, Brendan, it's something we can refer back to. So I guess it's not one we can revoke, and we have to keep that within our suite of policies. So I'm happy to move that. Thank you.
So wish to speak?
Yeah, I just think so. It's a 10-page policy, and I can see we've backtracked changes, but the council officers have been extremely thorough in going through and not just accepting it and just really looking at it. So thanks to the staff for being so thorough about that, and that it is largely about assisting in managing any potential reputational risks. Largely, that's one of the things that it does tidy up.
Let's wish to speak. Wish to sum up?
No, thank you.
Put it to the vote then. All in favour? It's carried. Move to item 16, we have nothing on the ceiling schedule. 17, I don't believe we have any late items of business. Move to item 18, I said 17, 18, yep. Where we move into confidential reports.
Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to move the officer recommendations with the following change. To consider part 1, 18.1, 18.2 and 18.3. My extra comments related to item 18.4 in that council note 18.4 round 1 game on teaming up for climate action funding application support for the Kanivalli or United Football Netball Club be removed from the agenda as it has been dealt with at an unscheduled meeting held on Monday, the 13th of July. So we had to deal with that quickly and it's now not an item of discussion today.
So I'm prepared to seconded by Councillor Pritlove. Is there any discussion required? If not, put that to the vote. All in favour? That is carried. Right. Now we are going to move into a confidential meeting to deal with these three matters that we just discussed there.